Previously on Corey's Garage, it has come to my better judgment to part ways with my 1976 International Scout 2 project. I've decided to go a different route, and in this video you're going to find out how I did it, what I was looking for, and what decision I finally made. We will also go on a journey and look at a few different vehicles. So what's up, guys? We're back to another episode of Corey's Garage. So, if you've been following along, I had the 76 International Scout. Well, I decided to part ways with that project. One, hard to get parts for, and it was just a super large project that I don't know, I woke up one day and decided, I was like, I need to get something easier, a little bit closer to what I can get out on the road, you know? So I decided to let that go. Luckily, an International Scout guy that's totally into him, he got it from me. He's going to finish what I started. So, we've got that behind us. I'm trying to decide, what I wanted to move on to next. Well, I needed to find something a little bit easier to work with, something that's not so rusty, and something that I'm very familiar with, that I know that I can get parts for. So I started looking. I need to find the most complete project I can find that has all the paperwork, titles and stuff, and it needs to be as close to rust-free as I can get, because now, I'm going to have to up my money a little bit and get something a little bit better. So I did that. I looked down, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. I've been looking in the southern region below Oklahoma, because everything around here it's got rust, So I want to get away from that. So I want something that is going to be pretty easy mechanically, a little bit of, maybe just a scotch or rust repair, but nothing big, and go on from there. So I did that. You're watching this next clip. The Scout's heading to its new home. Guys, so if you notice, Corey's Garage is minus an International Scout, minus an 850-pound International 345 V8, minus a 727 automatic in a Dana 20 transfer case. All right, you get the gist of what's going on. It's all gone. That is, got to get the car trailer ready. I haven't serviced that thing in about 6-7 years. You know what I mean? As far as packing the wheel bearings. So I decided to wait. Instead of doing it when it was summertime, I'd do it in the coldest part of the time we had. So get that serviced up, and then we've got a few little clips of our, the first vehicle. What's up, man?
So what's the plan today?
We're going to go to Norman and look at a Blazer, and then we're going to go to Texas and look at another one.
You get in the house.
At least we've got adult supervision.
I know,
this trip.
man. We got the whole crew with us. I think we're good. 70 degrees, I think they're going to be all right. I just packed those wheel bearings with new seals in it. I'm paranoid I got them too tight. Now we just watch this. Well, it's pretty consistent, so.
Okay.
Here's something to eat.
Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits it is.
Mind rolling that window down and see.
Well, there's pretty good stuff.
50 miles to go.
It was raining and 39 degrees when we left.
The wind was cold.
70 degrees and sunshine, and
Yep. Yeah. The first Blazer was a bust, but now we'll hit the Blazer number 2 and see what it does. And I got a number 3 3 lined up and a 4 thing, so we're gonna hopefully find something. I don't know, guys. It's got a really good body, and I like the paint, but it's got the wrong transfer case. Doesn't have the drive shafts in it. The motor's out of oil. The header's rusted through. This is the fan shroud. It's got a big, large radiator in it, but yeah, I don't know if those, like I said, if the drive shafts are right for it, it would be in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the top's really, once we start showing fiberglass, the top end is really
You're gonna have that in your hand.
Yeah, is it pretty cobbled up? You'll see that, and then without further ado, let's check out what I got. All right, guys, before we get too far, let's hit that like and the subscribe button and get ready. I'm gonna pull this thing out. So there it is, guys, my new 1983 K5 Blazer. But wait, there's more. This Blazer did not look like this when I picked it up. It had different wheels on it. It was a little bit dirty. Wasn't setting quite right. Since then, I've restored a set of wheels, installed some new tires, cleaned it up. But let's check it out, and you'll get to see here in a few moments what it looked like when I first picked it up. And did I also mention we picked this up during that Daryl Starbird's car show while I had my car in there. So what do you think, man? Pretty stoked, dude. California K5 Blazer, dude. It's not rusty at all, and it runs. It runs. Pretty happy with it. What do you think, Matt?
I have no clue.
Oh, you gotta have some kind of clue.
No, I think it's perfect.
Those wheels.
I think we need to put a diesel back in it.
Yeah. And it came with another 10-bolt rear end for some reason.
Because the guy's cool.
Yeah, super cool, dude. I really like this guy. But yeah, it's a good truck. I'm pretty happy with it. Definitely something good to work with. Look at all that rear bumper's not beat up at all. What's up? How'd you sleep?
Great. How's breakfast?
Yeah, the waffle's not bad.
Now you're taking the highway. Man, this weather's cutting to the bone. It is cold.
Yeah. Welcome back to Oklahoma.
Jeez Louise.
She's looking pretty.
Oh, God. Finally made it home. Where you can pull it over, Bede? How many hours we been back in town?
Like 2.
How many miles do you think we drove? 850
At
miles?
least 1,200 or 1,300.
Really?
Wasn't it 600 miles down there?
No, it's 400 miles each way.
It felt like 1,200.
Yeah, it was a long drive.
After all the bad directions, it's probably 1,200.
Yeah. And how many trucks did we look at? Three.
We came back with one.
I know, isn't that crazy? What do you want to look at, Ruby? Alright guys, real quick before we move on and I show you this really sweet Blazer. Man, hit that like and subscribe button because I don't know if any of you guys tried this, but it's really hard stuff to do, man. It's super expensive. And then like if you're high strung like I am, man, before I get going on these videos, I'm going about 50,000 miles an hour, and like I've got so many ideas, so much of this, and I only have just a scotch of time to do it. So like right now my blood is pumping. I am just like, you know, I feel like I need a shotgun of beer or something before I start making videos or something. But like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So help a brother out, man. Let's just keep rolling with it. It's fun. But yeah, it's maybe shotgun 2 beers. Alright guys, so here it is, my new 1983 K5 Blazer. So I picked this thing up kind of about a couple hours west of Austin, Texas. So if you saw in the earlier videos, it had different wheels and tires on it, but this started life as a 1983 K5 Blazer with a 6.2 diesel engine. So it has been converted to a gasoline motor, small block Chevy. It's got a 700 R4 transmission and a 308 gear ratio in the axles. It's got supposed to have an MP208, but you'll see what I found on this thing. I've opted to put the factory style rally wheels on it and 32 1150 inch tires. I went with the Maxxis Buckshot because I've always wanted to try them, and we're going to see what they're like. So as you can see, this was a factory 6.2 liter diesel engine. It has been converted to a small block Chevy. So this is, I don't really know much about the engine. I know that it has been rebuilt. It has a comp roller cam. It's been converted to roller because it just gets to the point you can't do flat tappet cams and be safe about it. And I think that's what happened to it before. Cam went flat and he's like, I'm sick of that and everything. So it's got a 2-barrel Holley on it, but it's not quite all the way done. A lot of stuff's got to be tidied up on it. It has long tube headers on it, which I think the shorties are better on these, because on this side, on the header, it's getting really close to the drive shaft if you had it flexed out. But there is one caveat to this deal. I wanted to buy it complete as it was, but the guy I bought it from was wanting to keep the engine for another project that he had, because it costs $1,500 to put a roller cam in one of these to do it correctly and buy good parts. That's what he has done. So, and I didn't plan on keeping this because this has the 700 R4 in it, and either I was going to swap it to a turbo 350 or do something different. So I kind of was going to take it apart, and really it needs to be gone through. There's so many things that like haven't been finished up, needs to be tidied up, and I was going to take it completely apart and start back over anyways and put it back together. So I mean, it only makes sense that I would have done that. So the engine has to come out. He's going to come and get it here probably next month or so. So I mean, I'm totally fine with that. But right now transmission does shift, the transfer case works. So far so good. I'm very, very happy with it. But let's check this thing out some more. So if you was listening earlier, I had decided that I was not going to buy another rusty Midwest vehicle. I was going to try to find the best truck that I can get. And if you've followed along, my other Blazers that I had, the green one was pretty rusty. It needed substantial rust repair. I had to send it down the road. And then the 76, I just didn't jive well with that one, so I sold it to Matt. But yeah, this thing literally almost has no rust on it. Like, it's got surface rust, you know, in spots, which can be treated with that POR 15, but no holes in it. It's just where the paint's coming off. But the interior, Like, this thing can't have 100,000 miles on it because, like, it almost feels like I set too high in the driver's seat. I almost have to have the wheel tilted up. Everything is in really, really good shape on this truck. I mean, the interior is just perfect. I love it. The only thing I'm gonna have to replace is I'm gonna have to put a carpet kit on the front. But yeah, I mean, this thing's nice. The console, the lid's not broken. These arms work. All the stuff in the dash works. Just a super cool. The only thing does, I got to put new motors. This motor's kind of on its way out, and that one over there is not well either. So I'm gonna have to put a couple window motors in it. The dash pad's seen better days. Kind of typical for the square bodies. It still has the automatic locking hubs on the front, so that's gonna have to be changed. But I'll show you guys. This thing came from the Stockton, California area, kind of like a little bit east of San Francisco. And I have a lot of paperwork in the glove box showing where this thing spent most of its life there. The story that I've got is, I would say probably September, October-ish of last year, 2024, it was brought to Texas, and it's basically spent its whole life in California. So that really checks off a bucket list deal for me. I always wanted to buy a California car that's been there basically its whole life. Now, I wanted to fly out and drive it back, but I mean, this is scratching the itch, man. I mean, it works. So we're gonna lower the gate here, and just like all the other ones, this has problems with the tailgate. And when I thought the window tint was messed up on this, turns out somebody's tried to pry this window down and actually broke it. So I'm gonna need a new back glass. But one of the problems here on these 80s models is this electric motor is weak and it needs to be replaced. So what I did, who needs a stinking electric motor? I took another electric motor, and it's got a cable here that you can attach to, and you can roll this window up and down with your drill. So that's something I've done to get by for right now. I mean, look at this thing. Just in good shape. And I've already used it to pull a vehicle out in my yard. It definitely, it does its job. But very, very nice. And as you can tell too, this thing really wasn't finished because it has absolutely no exhaust system on it. It's just the open headers. Very loud, very, very hard to drive, you know. So I'm gonna probably get it to a muffler shop and get that exhaust system done on it. But I gotta figure out, what engine do I wanna put in this, man? Do I wanna put another small block Chevy? Do I wanna build one? Do I want to put a big block in it? I don't know. What should I do? Should I LS swap it? You know, I mean, that would be the most logical thing. But yeah, what do you guys want to see me do? Drop in the comments and let's see it. But let's get this thing back to the house. Go for a little cruise. I mean, it drives great. All right, so let's hop back in here. Yeah, and as I stated, I'm gonna have to do a carpet kit up here, but there's no rust. Usually these square bodies rust out really bad in those areas. Nothing here, man. This thing is sweet. We have real neat light. I've only drove one of these diesel trucks, but it says water in the fuel and our, let's see if this works. If we pull it down, 4-wheel drive, even the light still works. So that's very, very cool. But this thing, brakes work good, all that stuff, man. And I feel like I set up really well on this thing. I had the seats recovered on my green Blazer, and I feel like I set really low in that thing, but this one, I feel like I set up. So I kind of like that. But yeah, the gauges work. It's got a few things that doesn't work in it, and the speedo doesn't work, and you'll see why that doesn't work, which is really cool. And it's very low on gas. So here's a lot of the paperwork, the original owner's manual. I have the license plate attaching screws. I have paperwork where this thing had a radiator in Stockton, California. Sacramento, California Department of Motor Vehicles. It's had a radiator put in it. Same thing back in '93. I mean, tons of paperwork. I apologize, it's so windy out here, guys. But tons of paperwork routing it to exactly what it should be. I mean, there's just all kinds of things in here, whatever that means. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, this is really, really rad. Old marker. What is this? Year-round home-style breakfast. That's what I'm talking about. Jack London Square. I'm in. Let's go. Especially breakfast. She got my number on that deal. 51044. How cool. Uh-oh, romantic evening. Somebody was having a good time. Expires July 15th of 99. So yeah, another neat thing about this is like all the shifters and the key switch and like your shifter and all that. Steering, everything is really, really tight. It's showing 91,789. Now we'll look at the pedal. It is a little worn on the side. But I mean, I don't know. I believe it to be around 100,000 miles. It would make sense. There's the old switch for the back window. The earlier models don't have that unless it had an electric back window. But yeah, there's a old parking sticker that I can't get unrolled to see what's going on. But yeah, really, really neat survivor vehicle. I'm sure everybody's tired of hearing people call them survivors, but this thing's in good shape. I think I have lucked out for sure. Another thing that they did too is I guess the hood latch was stuck and they cut the hood open to free the hood. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you could take the grill and everything out of it. I think can do the same thing, but I'm not 100% for sure. But I'll have to fix that so you guys will see. That's not terrible. I can fix that, you know. But I'm trying to tell you guys more about it. It just, you know, it's got the 10-bolt axles, so no more 12-bolt, no more Dana 44, although everything's the same. Your stub shaft splines are the same as the Dana 44. So essentially it's at the same axles, just updated. But yeah, I mean, we'll do a visual go around on this thing. I have ordered some beauty rings for the wheels. They should be coming in from Speedway Motors. And we'll definitely get that addressed. But yeah, this top, that same fiberglass, a little worn down on it. But I mean, yeah, old parking tags on it. I don't really know what used to be here on that sticker, but there's a phone number. It says Stockton, CA. So yeah, definitely a California rig, but the floors are just beautiful in this truck. The rockers, all the mounts and everything else. Another cool thing I've never seen before, this is the factory spare tire. So this is the original spare that came with this vehicle. It says 1015, so it's a 3110.5. But how cool is that, man? I'm gonna put that right back in there. And then there is the cover for that. So how cool is that, man? So we'll go over this thing. I mean, look at those rockers on this truck. Just primo shape. The floorboards, a little bit of surface, but nothing protruding, nothing going through. I mean, we do have one little bitty hole right there. But you can see, yeah, that's another reason I don't like long tubes on one of these, because it will hit. But yeah. Yeah, the floors on this thing are just like the bed floor. Everything is really, really nice. Look at that rocker, man. No rust at all. And I'd like to clean the spots that are showing a little bit and just roll it on with some of that POR 15. But yeah, I mean, holy moly. And it's complete. It doesn't, aside from the engine swap, it doesn't look like anything has been jacked with on this truck. It has been sitting for a pretty good period of time. And even the rockers over here, look at that, man. Totally clean. There's the suspension. I've also looked, there's no cracks on the frame for the steering box. And I would like to weld in that frame brace that supports the frame. But yeah, I mean, super clean truck. I'm very blessed to have been able to get this thing. All right, so you see the next Corey's Garage project. Yeah, I'm going right back to what I know, and I'm happy with that. I like K5 Blazers. They're pretty rad. So yeah, you know, the engine's gonna be coming out. Transmission's gonna be coming out. I'll be doing something different, I don't know. Transmission shift's good, I just don't trust the 700 R4 platform. But what do you guys wanna see? Should I build another small block Chevy? Should I put a big block Chevrolet in it? Should I LS swap it? You know, I know everybody's sick of seeing that, but it's kind of makes the most sense for something you're wanting to drive, because they've make so much stuff now. The only hard part is finding a good donor engine. And all these ads that say they've got, every one of them has got 130,000 miles on it. I ain't seen one with that low mileage in years. So they can't be just wrecking 130 low mileage vehicles. So I would proceed with caution on every one of those unless you can see it in the car where it shows the odometer. Don't believe it. They've got 200,000. Everything's got 200,000 miles on it. That stuff's 20 years old. I mean, come on. So, you know, and it's getting to the point now, the stuff's getting so hard to find it. Now we're back into doing machine work on either one. So it's kind of what you want to do. And LS is more efficient than a small block, but you can still build a great small block to do anything you want to do. You know, so, and I can attest to that because that motorhome has a factory 400 small block, quadjet, everything. I have driven it all over this, you know, southern part of the country. I love it. No problem. So, I mean, if this had a turbo 350 in it already, I'd just put another small block in it. But I just don't know what I want to do. I got a little time to think about it. I'm going to work on the body and, you know, eventually start taking it apart and everything and just cleaning everything up. But, yeah, put in the comments what you want to see. And we're going to find out probably in the next video which way I'm going with it. So, I appreciate it, guys. Hit that like and subscribe. We're really close to 1,000. I'd like to get there. So, yeah, we got a lot to do, man.